The uprising movement in 2000 in West Africa, it's the waking up of the youth mainly. Because since 1960, years of African countries' independence, they have been suffered. Let me give you a concrete example. In 10 years, the so-called fifth powerful country in the world, France, said that it contributes to struggle to fight against terrorism. We're still there, in the same place. That's why the youth said, no more French military compound in West Africa. If you don't do exactly what the people need, you will see any kind of reaction. That's why you have a coup d'etat in Mali, followed by Guinea-Conakry, and recently in Burkina Faso. I'm not saying per se it's a way of developing a country, but it's a normal reaction. Because the Western bourgeoisie law and democracy, if it's not set up to get benefits for the people, the basic needs, they will find a way to respond to that. But it's also linked to the deep history of the African continent. You said it correctly. It's not a country, it's a continent with 55 countries, common points, but specificities. So from the Berlin Conference, without taking into consideration the sociologic aspect, they break down those 50 and such countries. Later on, you have Second World War. My rest in peace father has been by obligation enrolled to go fight against Hitler, the Nazism, along with French people. After the Second World War, the Senegalese, so-called, that was a generic term. Any African, black African that was enrolled for that, they call it Senegalese shooters, used for the cannon flesh. They just claim to have the same treatment like the comrade, French, Caucasians, salary and so on, benefits. They have been wiped. That's what they call the camp of Tiaroy, if you want to Google it and see it. 1963, you have the founding, the creation of African Union, the father one, the previous one, African Organization Union in Addis Ababa, headquartered. And then you have 1990s, the previous panels recall it, with the PAS, IMF, and World Bank. No country in Africa has been developed with those plan and organization system. None of them. Quite opposite. That's why in the 2000 today, you have the new momentum of the youth asking for a new vision and a new way of ruling the countries. Once again, I'm not for the coup d'etat per se, but keep in mind that you have the interests of the government, state to state, and you have the interests of the people. So it can be the same. We need to put a pressure on any state, starting here with concrete organizations in order to bring Africa to listen to the people before going to any extra continental meeting like United Nations or in the US. You just pointed out the American meeting with the youth, African youth. I think we should have one first, such in Dakar, Asmara, Bamako, before coming here. Because we know our history, we know what we want first. I will close up with the concrete example in Burkina Faso, 2014. After 27 years, the murder of Thomas Sankara, who stayed in the power for 4 years, came in '84 in Harlem, Harriet Tubman School. He said, "My white house is in your black Harlem." Assassinated in 1987. those young people in Burkina Faso, not only but mainly, were in the forefront, and they get rid of the former government that has been helped literally helicopter and brought to Ivory Coast. That's the power of the people when they really stand up. And I will just repeat what we used to say when I was younger than that. When the people stand up, imperialism tremble. When the people stand up, imperialism tremble. When the people stand up, imperialism trembles. Thank you.